everyone, I'm Kristen Oakes-White.
And I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. And Kristen, this place is kind of strange to me and our viewers, but I think you know this place quite well.
It's familiar. We're not at our TWILA studio, but we're at my house because I had an idea for this month's Feasting on Agriculture. I thought, why don't we do something where all of the TWILA members incorporate, showcase our favorite recipes. And Josh said, let's just make the whole show out of this. So this is what we're doing. So each one of us is bringing a special dish for Christmas, and so we're all going to sit down and feast together, and we're going to feast on agriculture because, as you know, we've got some great agriculture products.
Yeah, because we have rice, we have crawfish, we have corn, we have beef, we've got
sugar.
We've got it all
dairy.
covered. Yeah, all are going to be showcased here in this special edition of TWILA. So we're glad that you're here with us to feast on agriculture. So, Kristen, with so many great things to cook, where do we need to be?
We got a lot to cook and a little time to do it, so let's head to the kitchen.
This is my mother's rice dressing. I think the only copy of the recipe I have is handwritten by her.
And some tattered paper, I bet.
Exactly, yeah, it's got little stains on it here and there, but that's how you know the recipe is good. And so this is my mother's rice dressing.
Okay.
We have it for every holiday. And she's not able to cook it anymore. She's 83, so now I've taken on the mantle of cooking it, and I have very fond memories of doing it. So.
And I see we've got Louisiana rice.
Oh yeah, you always start with Louisiana rice. So we got to start with a Trinity, of course. If you could do me this favor, stir this around for me. I will. I always just add a little bitty pinch of salt at this point because that helps get a little moisture out. Kristen, while that's cooking down, let's talk about the part of this recipe that I know is going to make some people uncomfortable. Chicken livers and chicken gizzards.
Ooh.
I take this and I put it into a food processor.
This is so visually appealing.
I know, it's about flavor, Kristen. It's about flavor.
Whatever you say.
Okay, so we're back in our comfort zone, right? We're still, yow.
Oh, yeah.
Those get hot.
Yeah, those.
I've learned a valuable lesson at this moment.
I thought you.
So what we're looking for here is we want it to be soft and almost transparent, as close to transparent as you can get, as you're comfortable with.
Okay.
We're not reaching caramelization, but we want to stop before there. So now we're going to come over, and Kristen, if you can hand me that Louisiana beef.
Okay.
Okay, the Louisiana beef, we're going to put that in there and start to brown it. A pound of ground pork. We're just going to brown this. Now, this is normally also where I'll add just a little bit of Cajun seasoning. Now we're going to add this, and like I said, this used to be done with a meat grinder, so we're going to cook this all down. And you're not even going to see it in here once it's all cooked down.
Whatever you say, Avery.
It's a lot of trust here.
Have your rice for you, sir?
You are awesome. Let's just hold that for a moment. I'm going to ask you to pour that in once this cooks down just a little bit more.
Taking your word for it, I'm not judging the chicken by its gizzard.
I think we might finally be at the point where we can start adding that rice, Kristen. So, the old chop and fold technique.
Who's doing dishes after this?
I think that's going to be me. At this point, it is done.
Okay, so we got the first menu item checked off. Mm-hmm. Now we just have 5 more dishes to make.
Let's do it.
Moving on to dish number 2, we have Neil Melanson with us, who you love all types of international cuisine.
Mm-hmm.
And so you brought one of your specialties.
I do. I have a good specialty, highly traditional. I mean, you know, when you think of this time of year, you absolutely think pizza rolls, right? Boom, 3 minutes in the microwave, done. That's it.
That's not even a pizza roll, in that you literally got the cheapest pizza that you could bring. Or you said you don't cook, but really,
I mean, it's cooking, it's in a microwave, isn't it?
you need to go sit in the corner and think about your mistake.
It's got
take
red
that.
in it.
Yeah, take that.
Red, right?
Well, while Neil thinks about what he's done wrong, we're going to bring in our social media coordinator, who you don't see her on TV because she's always behind a computer doing our Facebook, our Instagram, Allie Doise Shipley. And so, Allie, you were raised on a rice and crawfish farm,
Yep.
and you've got a specialty that's straight from home.
Yes, we're gonna be making crawfish cornbread, and I really don't even like cornbread, but I will eat crawfish cornbread, so.
Okay, so we've got some crawfish from your dad's farm.
Yes, we did.
And so tell me, how do we start
Okay,
this?
this is super easy. You start with a box of cornbread, and then I melted a stick of butter and you let it cool.
Okay, yeah.
Mix that in, and then we're gonna crack 3 eggs after that butter cools a little bit so it doesn't cook the eggs. We're mixing in, I used a teaspoon of Tony's. It says the Cajun seasoning of your choice, but I picked Tony's.
I go for Tony's
And
too.
then a teaspoon of garlic powder.
Okay.
My home ec mom would be so proud of me. She didn't let me take her class, so. We mix that real good, and then we're gonna add in the crawfish tails. We need to put those on the stove just to cook them a little bit, warm them up.
Okay.
While that's warming up, we're gonna put the rest of the ingredients in.
Okay.
Your cheese of choice, I did pepper jack. It's about 4 ounces of pepper jack.
That would be
That's
mine.
my favorite, so. We have a cup of chopped yellow onion and a cup of chopped green onion. And then this is a can of drained Rotel. Just mix it in.
All good stuff.
All good stuff. I
All
mean, you can't go
ingredients
wrong.
you can't go wrong with any of this. Cheese, Rotel.
And then you just mix it up. Real good, fold it. Again, this is pretty foolproof.
See, I can do this.
Neil
This
could have
is-
done this.
Neil could have done this,
We could have let him do this.
but he chose a really cop out. I don't know if it's a joke or if he's actually going to bring something later on. We'll see.
Poor Neil. And then these crawfish should be warm. Go ahead and mix them in. And then we're just gonna go ahead and spread it out on a 9x13 casserole dish.
This is literally a perfect Christmas dish because
I know, I
you've
didn't
got,
even think about the colors. And you're just gonna pop it in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes or until it looks like your cornbread's cooked.
just golden on top.
Just golden on top.
Thank you so much for coming and cooking because I know you didn't want to because you didn't want to be on camera and cook on camera, but you did a great job.
We'll see, it's not out of the oven yet, so we haven't tried it.
Well, I can't wait till it's ready and taste it.
It's pretty foolproof, so we should be lucky.
Thank you, Allie.
Who doesn't love cornbread and crawfish? Allie, always a great job, and I'm looking forward to trying it when we sit down to eat. But something else I'm looking forward to trying is what this man right here made, Carl Wiggers. Why did you decide to do a beef tenderloin? I mean, that seems bold, man. That seems bold.
It's a bold statement, but we needed a main dish.
Yep.
I mean, and I gravitated to when Kristen was like, hey, what should we cook? I was like, well, I would cook a brisket, but that would take a good old 18 to 24 hours. Then I was like, well, something beef I could cook, and a tenderloin came to mind because my dad, and he cooked one a little while back and would not stop talking about it. So I wanted to give it a shot, and it's a filet. We're gonna all have a nice filet on our plate, so it's a good centerpiece for a meal, I think.
Well, you need to go get to cooking.
All right, Kristen, so now time for some meat. It's very simple, it's from our friends at Iverstein. It's about a 5-pound beef tenderloin here. So it's supposed to be room temp. Yeah, 4.7 pounds. So we're gonna take this out of the wrapper. We're gonna use, for seasoning, it's gonna be really simple. We're gonna just use salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. The grill, I've got it preheating to about 425. I'm gonna pat it dry and then I'm gonna put some olive oil on here. So I want you to kind of mix up the salt, pepper, garlic powder, and we're gonna spread that over as one. There you go. And we're gonna let this sit for a few minutes and kind of soak in. We're gonna wrap it up and make it kind of like a roast or something a little bit more uniform to put on the grill. Hopefully this should make for a little bit more even cooking. And we're gonna get this thing going. All right, I'm gonna get this thing on here and just set it right there in the middle. So we wanna cook this, a good medium is probably gonna be about to 130, 135. Don't quote me on that, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm gonna pull this early. I'm gonna pull it about 120, 125. So that it will rest and grow on into where I want it to be. So I'm gonna set my probe alarm to 120. We'll see how it goes.
That tenderloin looks like it's gonna come out amazing.
I hope so. Plus, we're gonna give Neil a second chance.
Oh yeah, Neil's gonna have a second chance, and we're gonna have a great dessert made by Josh Meeks. Stay with us. Kristen, I have to admit, this is one of my favorite dishes to have at a holiday time, and that's corn mock shoe.
We're just gonna roll right into it because we've got a lot of dishes to get through. We've already got 3 pieces of bacon. Pretty much all we want is the grease. Already chopped up onions, our holy trinity, bell pepper, and jalapenos.
Oh, we're bringing a little spice to this party.
Bringing spice to the party.
Oh, I'll take that.
So
Okay.
again, we're just gonna get this a little
There's some-
glazed, brown. And for this, I feel like you always wanna use a cast iron if you have it because it's like it gives it that rich seasoning flavor. Okay, we're gonna add about a teaspoon.
Minced garlic.
Yes, so about 2 cloves. little bit lower. And while that's going, we're gonna take our corn, shaved off the cob.
Okay.
So we've got 2 tablespoons of flour, a tablespoon of sugar, and Cajun seasonings. Sprinkle this over our corn, our fresh corn.
Gotcha.
And then
Toss it.
toss it up so it's kind of like battering it in a way. So we're gonna add our corn.
All right, corn goes in.
We're gonna add
Oh.
some butter. Okay, so we got that butter melted.
Okay.
Now we need to add a cup of whole whipping cream. And this is where it gets good. So we're just gonna let this simmer, and while this is simmering, we're gonna head on to our next dish. So we've got the corn mac choux cooking on the stove, and while we're cooking the corn mac choux, we are going to move on to our dessert, which, Josh, I did not know that you were such an excellent chef.
So I'm not. I am leaning solely on my mom here. My mom is the cook in the family. I've got her handwritten recipe. We're gonna try to make a cheesecake and hope that it comes out good.
I hope you do not disappoint her.
Ditto. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make the crust.
Okay.
And that's the super easy part. So we got about a cup and a half of graham cracker crumbs.
Okay.
And we're gonna add that to a springform pan, and along with 6 tablespoons of butter. Once you can see all the little dry bits get out of here,
Okay.
you'll notice like it'll change color. You just want to spread it out around the bottom, even it out. And what I like to do is just take a little measuring cup and just kind of flatten it.
I didn't reference it as a Graham Norton cracker crust. It's just a graham cracker crust, right?
I'm so sorry.
Okay, so
All right,
what do we do with this now?
So this goes in the oven at 350 for 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I know you've got the master timer on your watch.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead and set your little nerd timer.
Set timer for 10 minutes.
All right, so the graham cracker crust is in the oven. Now we're going to move to the actual cheesecake part.
Okay.
This is 4 packs of cream cheese. And to that, we are going to, so this is my mom's recipe. She literally has it handwritten out. So I'm following this step by step in the hopes that I don't mess it up. So in addition to the formed cream cheese, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of flour. And so now
Your mixer, sir.
comes the mix. Kristen, I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to destroy your house. There it is. I couldn't figure out how to turn it on.
It's the on button, Josh.
Thank you,
Amazing
Avery.
how that works.
Amazing how that works. All right, and so you want to do this until everything is basically creamy smooth. You're going to see a lot of lumps,
Okay.
and you'll see it'll have kind of the consistency of cake batter.
Okay. Do you sing Devo while you do it?
Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Crack that whip. Do 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 do.
And now you're whipping it into shape.
And now we're whipping it into shape, which is something I cannot say about myself. I'm used to using my mom's mixer, and that's going to be my excuse.
Oh.
So Kristen offered her very fancy KitchenAid mixer, but honestly, those things intimidate me. My mom doesn't have one. She only uses the hand mixer. This is what I'm comfortable with, so that's what we're doing. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of vanilla.
1 tablespoon vanilla. Okay, I can do that.
And then 1/2 cup of the heavy whipping cream.
The 1/2 cup mark is going to be where it says 1/2.
Thanks for explaining that one.
Well, no, I'm telling myself because I have. Okay, we're pouring in the heavy whipping cream.
All right, and now we're going to get this fully mixed in, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the eggs.
Okay. That's looking really good, Josh.
Yeah, I mean
So-
that's the consistency you want. That's those ribbons that you're seeing that are whipping through. You know, once you get to this point, you can go
We're
ahead.
just waiting on the crust now.
We're just waiting on the crust and making sure that I turn off Kristen's mixer the correct way. All right, so this is now ready. We just need to wait on that to come out.
Okay.
While we wait, you know, if we're doing a Josh meal, I always have eggnog this time of year. So cheers.
Eggnog.
And it's
Am I
eggnog.
detecting a little Buffalo Trace
Look,
there?
you made your drink, I made my drink. I'm just saying. All right, so our crust is now cooled. It takes about 10 minutes to cool this thing off because you don't want to add it to a hot crust. So we're going to take just about half of our cheesecake batter
Okay.
and we're going to pour it on top. So we have these little Debbie cakes.
Okay.
And this is kind of the piece de resistance here.
Oh, so we're going to put those in there.
So these go inside the cheesecake.
Is there any pattern to it? So 20-degree angles?
Just basically evenly spaced out, and you want to press them down just a little bit. All the little Debbie cakes in there, and then we're going to finish off with the batter.
Oh, so it's going to kind of be like a surprise once you cut it open.
Correct. They're deep inside. So we'll finish out the cheesecake batter on top. We'll completely bury these guys.
That's not just going to go straight into the oven like that, is it?
Correct. So you can't just cook. Cheesecake's very sensitive. You can't just put it directly in the oven heat. You have to create what's called a bain-marie. And some people call that a water pan.
Okay.
But I watch a lot of Great British Bake Off, so I know that it's called a bain-marie. I was so proud. My wife was less proud that I knew that term, but.
And you didn't say it with a British accent. That's what I'm impressed by.
I'm not gonna do. I'll leave that to you. I'll leave the super dorky things up to you. I'll just handle,
So how much-
normal baking here. I've got the silicone pan because the springform pan needs to sit inside of that.
Okay.
'Cause you don't want the water creeping into the pan.
All right, I think we're at our water level there.
All right, and so now this whole thing is gonna go in the oven for an hour.
So it's been about an hour. We have it out. It's been cooled, and that looks really, really good as is.
That's it. You just take off the springform pan. This is now ready for decorating. The toppings of a cheesecake are always very important. I'm gonna get the bottom off here, take that paper
we'll
off. Thank
see.
you very much. Go ahead and
Goodbye, parchment.
clear that out of the way. We've got a little cheesecake stand here.
Look at you being all official. Your mom set you up right.
That's it. She got me ready for this. The decorations, we've got some white chocolate, and you're gonna mix that with, how much did
That's
you
a
pour?
third cup.
A third of a cup of heavy whipping cream. Go ahead and pour that in there.
All right, that looks good.
And we're gonna stir that up until it reaches back to the consistency of the melted white chocolate. So just start it right on the top and just pour it.
Oh, so it's almost the consistency of condensed milk.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And then the rest, we've got a couple sprinkles here that we can add some real Christmas flair.
Oh, okay.
I've got the red, the green, and the white.
Well, let's see.
Just
you
kind of
got
add
this
it to
right
the
here.
top.
You know what? That actually looks better than I thought it would, Josh, considering, I've seen your artistic endeavors before.
Wow. You say that to the editor of this show. So there you have it. That's Melody's Christmas cheesecake.
I like it. I like it. Oh,
What have y'all been doing? I didn't know y'all were doing something in here.
Making a mess in your kitchen. I'm very sorry.
Oh my Lord. Did you say this was artistic? Did I hear you say that was supposed to be artistic?
I never used the word artistic.
may have put an extra R in there.
Chaos, maybe.
How's it taste,
Oh, it
Kristen?
tastes good.
There we go. Well, we're all gonna have to find out when we eat it for dessert. But until then, we'll see you right after this message. Thank you for staying with us on this special edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, where we are feasting on agriculture the entire episode. Joining me now, Neil Molassel. And Neil, you're making a dish that is steeped in tradition.
Yes, it's called potato latkes. They're a dish that's served traditionally at Thanksgiving, and they're kind of like a cross between a pancake and hash browns, but generally they're savory, but I'm going to give some options there. And one of the ways you can make it also is with sweet potatoes.
Ooh, sounds tasty. You need to go to the kitchen.
I do.
We're back with Neil. Have you thought about your mistake?
Apparently, because you put me in this ridiculous friggin' thing.
This is your punishment. You sat in the corner and now you gotta wear this.
Got it.
So you've got a dish that is very special to you. Tell me
Yes.
about it.
Well, these are potato latkes, and we're going to first start off by putting all of this into the food blender. This is 2 russet potatoes and an onion that I've quartered. Just going to put all this stuff in here and get the potatoes in first. If you prep ahead of time,
It's stuck.
you need to do the potatoes last because they'll brown or turn purple or weird colors. So make sure the potatoes are as fresh as possible. It's going to be fried, so the oil in there represents the miracle of they expected in the temple the oil to last only a day, and it lasted 8 days. So they cook oily foods like latkes. And I think that may be an excuse because they're really tasty and they're fried, which are not great for you. We're gonna take this out.
Here, hand that to me.
Thank you. All right, so we put all of this in here. And of course, it's gonna be an oily thing anyway, so we wanna make sure that as much of the liquid is out.
I think you did not give yourself enough credit for your culinary
Me?
ability.
What about all the rest of y'all who've been dogging me this episode about my abilities?
Well, we're not the ones that brought a pizza, a
Yeah.
frozen pizza.
Well, that's it. That is true. Well deserved.
You brought a spoon to a knife fight.
Yeah. So I went ahead and mixed up baking soda, flour, and salt and put it all in there. The salt can be sea salt, can be kosher salt. The best, of course, is a pinch from Lot's wife. That's what you would put it in there to get that really good flavor. But and so we need to do 2 eggs. And all of that goes into here. Now, once that's in, we add all of the potato stuff and onions. And we're going to mix that in all together. When you do the oil, you want to put in about a 1/4 inch into the bottom of it. Oh, I'm
Right.
going to do it.
Take the wheel.
Thank you. You want to take an overfull spoon, put it in there, and kind of shape it up really nicely here. Okay?
Okay.
So you just want to get them to where they're golden brown like that.
Okay.
On the top and the bottom. Put them on the plate so the oil drains. That one's yours right there.
So we're just gonna squirt some
Yeah,
sour
you
cream
can.
on it.
Yep.
See?
Yeah. It's like a hash brown, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is excellent.
Yeah. Now, can I get out of this freaking apron?
I think you should work for the rest of the day, but woo! We had a lot to do in a very short time to do it, but now it's time to
Go feasting on agriculture.
Gizzards, yay.
Kristen,
Don't
I think you can
hate.
find the parts that are for you. I think it shouldn't be hard. It's smallest. I'm gonna get it. I think y'all shouldn't take this long to eat, to fix your plates. I'm just saying.
I mean, everybody just Carl, by all means, show us how it's done.
I will.
Right.
At the end.
Thank you for staying with us on this special edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, and I can't think of a better way to spend the holidays than with you guys.
Well, it's been a very long day, but by the magic of television, everything is ready all at once. Perfect.
It's time to be feasting on agriculture.
What are we trying
Steak.
first?
I'm going for the steak first.
That's
Make
what I was
sure it's
going
okay.
for the crawfish cornbread.
Oh man, Carl.
You win. Those are really good.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my gosh.
Whoa.
I honestly thought there's no way there's enough seasoning on this to appease me. Mm-hmm. Because I like it coated.
Well, I did talk to Galen whenever I got this. He said keep it simple. You don't need to do much. And of course the guy selling me the tenderloin's gonna say, oh man, the meat's great. You don't need to put much on it, but I think he knows what he's talking about.
I mean, it's a great cut of meat, but the seasoning is perfect. And
Yeah.
I,
you did it,
I didn't
so
even think
you get
about
the
the
credit.
fact that I didn't put steak knives out, but you don't even need them.
You don't need them.
Butter knife is cutting the steak perfectly
That is,
fine.
oh
Man.
my goodness me.
Of course, this mock shoe is amazing.
We should probably all thank our mothers and grandmothers who influenced our ability to cook and taste, because I know mine did.
A+ for everybody. Thank you so much. That I don't have to cook tonight because we've all cooked for each other, and it is so delicious that we feasted on agriculture with so many great Louisiana commodities. If you want any of these recipes, and there's so much that we didn't get to include, all the details, we put it all on our website, twilatv.org. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy holidays. This will be our last show for the season. Until next time, we'll see you on This Week in Louisiana Agriculture.